Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is August. It's August the 4th. We're already in August. This year is going whoosh, and for those of you who are youngsters out there, you'll figure out what I mean someday. Yeah, the time just flies. It just absolutely flies. But hello and happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you all had a great week. You are privileged to see the 102-degree hair today. So Karen and I did get all of our steps in. We got all of our workout done today, and when I got back in my car, it said it was 102. So you will just have to, you'll just have to excuse the sweaty mess. Okay, today is Sunday, August the 4th. I am Kelly. This is IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you are new, let us know because we would love to welcome you. If you are not new, hey, hello. I'll be saying hello to all of you all soon. This is chat number 375. Hello, Catherine from Louisville, North Carolina. This is chat number 375, and it is titled Bridge the Gap Between Want To and Will Do. Hello, Elaine, and hello, Marianne. It's perfect timing. I don't know how, like, Weight Watchers, I think, just like, I don't know. I don't know if they're watching me or, I don't know. It just seems like they always know what we need to talk about next. And hello, Lynn, good to see you. But yeah, so we're talking about bridging the gap between want to and will do. And hello, Carol Lou. Hello, John from Home Base. Hello, Sandra from Demons Ferry. So it's going to be a lot to talk about tonight. There's always a lot to talk about. And hello, Sarah from Raleigh, Massachusetts. And Sarah, that's funny. I auto-corrected it because I knew, so I might as well be Siri because I already knew that you were going to auto-correct it to Raleigh instead of Riley. Let's see, and hello, Katie. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. So I don't know if it's as hot where you are as it has been here the last couple of days. Let's see, Sherry says hello from Cape Coral, Florida, and oh, yucky weather, but Debbie is moving on. So I'm hoping that that Orlando Debbie will be here because I wanted to ask her if this was named after her, but if it's spelled with a Y, then it's not. So she's off the hook. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about tonight. I always say that, but we actually do have a lot to talk about. This is the 375th chat. Hello, Hattie. So if you're brand new, A, say hello because we would love to welcome you. And B, you have 374 other chats that you need to go back and watch. And hello, Orlando Debbie. Got to ask you about the storm here in a second. But yeah, you've got 374 other chats that you need to go back and watch. Yeah, no pressure, but you need to go back and start watching those. Okay, so Orlando Debbie, the storm I'm assuming is not named after you, correct? And is it anywhere near your part of Florida? But hello everybody, welcome. I guess we're seeing the results of that. I don't know. I mean, we're not seeing any rain today. Last week we had 1 to 4 inches of rain every single day. The week before that we had like no rain. Today we just had all the humidity and the feels like was 102. So I don't know. It's been crazy. Yeah, and Orlando Debbie says that the storm Debbie is spelled incorrectly. Good for that. Let's see, and hello Trish. Happy Sunday to you too. Trish is from California. So a little bit of news. I already told you it's August. So somehow it's already August. Time is literally flying by. So first bit of news is today is the start of the workout/step challenge over on the If You Have an Egg group. So Julie is back and ready to go. I guess her classroom's all set up. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask her about that. But she is back and raring to go, and this week's challenge that she has set up for us is a workout or a step challenge. So Karen and I nailed it today. I completed all 3 of my rings. I have switched back to my other Apple Watch, or I would show you. So I switched back to this one just because I don't want to get my new, prettier, lighter colored one dirty. But I closed all 3 of my rings today. I have still been keeping up with the challenge that Melissa has been putting on, which is a squat challenge and a push-up challenge. And the push-up challenge, remember, is against a countertop. So it's like this. You only have to do the push-ups like this. You don't have to get down on your hands and knees and do them. You can do them like this. Hello, Vicki. So, yeah, so between Julie and Melissa, and hello, Anna, it's good to see you. Between Julie and Melissa, surely y'all can get a little bit of a workout in. Again, remember, you're not competing with anybody. Like, you don't have to say, well, Kelly closed all 3 of her rings today. That was today. That was just today. I can't do it. I can't close my ring, so I'm not going to compete. Or, Melissa is up to, 60 squats. I don't know how many she's up to. you're not challenging anybody but yourself. So it's a challenge for yourself, but it is handy to go over there and join on the If You Have an Egg Facebook group. Julie does this of her own free will and in her own time, and it's just a great reminder. It's a reminder to go ahead, and just get in a little bit of this week, to get in a little bit of activity. Last week we were making sure we got in water, so it's just a great and fun thing to do. And hello Marlene from Largo, Florida, and hello Sherry. Second bit of news, Ball Jars is celebrating their 140th anniversary. 140, nearly a decade and a half. So here in 10 years, they will have been making Ball Jars for a decade and a half. 140th anniversary. That is literally longer than all of us have been alive. There is not a single one of us here who's anywhere close to that age. So it's forever, yeah. So they have several keepsake jars that you can choose from, though, if you want to celebrate the 140th anniversary. They've got a couple of keepsake jars. Casey and I are going to post the link to those in this chat. So if you go back on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and check out chat number 375, we will have the link posted to the first one is the Amazon. On Amazon, you can find the Ball Keepsake Honeybee jars and vintage rose jars. So those you're going to be able to find over on Amazon. The honeybee jar is absolutely adorable, and the vintage rose jars are beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful. They would look so good. Let me see if you can see this cabinet. You can't see it because it's over on that side of the room. Hold on, I'll turn you around. It would be so pretty in something like this with glass doors for the in front of the shelves. Would be super, super pretty. Also, we're going to be posting a link to Ball's website because they have a 140th anniversary keepsake edition, and it's just like a quilted pattern. It's also really pretty. So we'll put both of those links in the chat notes, and that will be on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Third little bit of news is I'm on week 4 of the Bioma probiotics that I've been doing. Still doing great. So just started week 4 today. Still doing great. I seem to be adjusting to the new good bacteria that's in my gut, and everything seems to be working together well. So it's a solid 2 pounds gone now. Hello, Barbara, and let's see. Hold on. Oh no! Orlando Debbie is asking Marlene if she still has power because her friend in Seminole, Florida, just lost power. Oh no! Is it a tropical storm or has it been upgraded to a hurricane? I have not watched that today. But again, hello, Barbara. So the Bioma probiotics, I just started them. I just started the 4th week. Again, everything seems to be adjusting well. That 2 pounds is solid gone. Okay, so at first I thought it was just some water weight, because I'll tell you, when you start taking this stuff, you pee and pee and pee and pee and pee some more. But it's solid. It's a solid 2 pounds gone. There is no more bloating. Like, I have no bloating going on. I do notice much more quickly, though, if I haven't had enough water to drink. I think it's because the probiotic is doing such a good job of keeping everything flushed out that, like today, like this morning, I had 1 coffee cup of water before I had my coffee, and then I left and went to church and took the girls, and got to church, and like right now, like I can tell extra, like I can tell faster that I've not had enough to drink. But I think it's because it's doing such a good job of flushing, those extra fluids out. So I'll be doing an update at the 1 month mark. I'll be doing like a big update, not just a little, comment here. And Carol Lou, yes, I did post a link where to buy, but we'll post that again, and I'll try to tag you in it this time so you can see it. But the affiliate code, you can save 15%. That code is I should know it by heart now. Egg 15. It's EGG15. So I'm liking it. I don't feel weird. It's not caffeine, so you're not jittery. It's literally just to help get all from here to here, back into alignment. I'm liking it so far. Okay. Next thing I need to know is who sat their bottom in a chair last week. So who was in an in-person workshop last week or attended a Zoom workshop? Let me see some thumbs ups for that. Boom. And my little big bubble thumbs up showed up. Okay, awesome. Lots of people sat their bottoms in chairs. I did. Or attended Zoom workshops last week, so good job on those. Or if you were here with us live last week or watched later on demand, let's see some hearts for that. Oh, my watch wants me to pause and reflect. So let's see some hearts for watching with us here live. Let me see if I can get this, if I can get the heart to go. Boom. No. Okay. It's not cooperating today. Bravo, everybody. Lots and lots of you either went to a live, an in-person workshop or attended with us live last week. Here you go. And yes, Anne, I saw you. Bravo to everyone who did either or both of those. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. We have a few gentlemen. So last week was chat number 374, and we were talking about how to use your strengths to stay on track. And I used a lot of Olympics references, and oddly enough, I still have only seen 2 of the Olympic events. I don't know. We've been super busy. John and I don't have the right channels on our television. Literally have only seen 2 events, and it was 2 events that I don't care anything about. One of them was BMX bicycling, and the other one was some highlights from one of the basketball games. Care nothing about either one of those, and that's all I've seen. So, and Alyssa apparently has been binge watching Simone Biles. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to catch up. But I did do a lot of Olympic references last week, and we were talking about, figuring out what your superpower is. And your superpower doesn't have to be, I have all the willpower. That's not your superpower. I am a professional cook. That's probably not your superpower. I'm best friends with Oprah, and even though she sold her shares, I still use her dietitian. Probably not your superpower. Okay, so last week I wanted you to stop, not put a lot of thought into this, and just pick a superpower. Then I wanted you to kind of think about what Olympic sport you would compete in if you could, and then I wanted you to channel that energy of what your Olympic dream was. Maybe it was like Sarah, synchronized swimming, talking about gymnastics, my other friend, my Christy, talking about swimming but only being able to swim left. So whatever it was, to channel the 2 of those and figure out what your superpower was, because the one thing that we do have in common with all of those people competing in Paris is a desire to win. We all want to win this, whatever this is. If this is weight loss, if this is better mobility. Karen and I did have an older gentleman comment tonight on how well we were moving, like how fast we were walking and things like that, because he was really struggling. I don't know if we should take it as a compliment because he thought we were walking fast, or if we should be like, great, he thought we were old and was surprised by how fast we were walking. Regardless, we were killing it. I'm 57 and she's more than 57, but doing all this helps us to stay mobile. So whatever it is that you're trying to win, and it doesn't just have to be weight loss, I wanted you to think what your superpower was and do that for your homework. So your homework for last week was #mysuperpoweris, and here are a couple of things that we found out last week. So I already knew this one to be true, and I think I even announced it during the chat, but Lynn's superpower is encouragement. She is such an encourager. She voluntarily sends every single one of you, all of you, every one of you, whether you read it or not, whether you even know it's there or not, whether you even see it or not, she sends every single one of you, me and all of you, a heartfelt message every single day over on the If You Have an Egg Facebook group. And she's a breast cancer survivor, and she is the biggest supporter, encourager, helper that her son, who has MS, could possibly ask for. Bravo, Lynn. Bravo, Lynn. Your superpower is encouragement. Alyssa, who happens to be our granddaughter, is literally the pickiest eater that I have ever met. Y'all should know that by now. But we decided this weekend that her superpower is endless and enthusiastic curiosity, okay? Even though she's probably not going to eat most of the things that I make, even though she's probably not going to eat it, she is so willing to help me try out a recipe because her enthusiasm she's just so dang curious, okay? So her enthusiasm, it's just endless. It is absolutely endless, the curiosity. So this weekend alone, or last night alone, it was last night, in 2 hours, she helped me make chocolate zucchini muffins, chocolate chip. They were like double chocolate zucchini muffins. And she helped me make Kodiak cake birthday cake mini muffins for her and her sister. And she helped me make sugar-free strawberry jello. And she was working on creating her own recipe, which was really not a recipe. but she was super pumped about it. She had paper out, she had a pen out, she was trying to think of what she wanted to be in her recipe, asking for help, asking for the measuring cups, asking for things to mix it with. She has it's an incredible enthusiasm for curiosity. Her curiosity is just mind-blowing. So even though she's probably not going to eat whatever it is, that is definitely her superpower. Turns out she would only eat the Jell-O, okay? Out of all the things, and we even made, her mom and I made baked zucchini and yellow squash. Her mom made rigatoni. She ate rigatoni with sprinkled cheese on it and the Jell-O. Oh, and some watermelon. But that was it. That was all she ate. But she was so enthusiastic about helping figure out, like, her curiosity about the rest of it, that she kept me on task, kept me and her mom on task to make the rest of it. So that is definitely her superpower. And Barbara, she goes back to school on the 12th, so a week from tomorrow. And then Deanna's superpower is actually cooking. Her superpower is actually cooking. I don't know if y'all have seen all the stuff that Deanna makes over on the If You Have an Egg Facebook group, or if you happen to be friends with her on Facebook. She's pretty dang awesome, okay? To the point that one of my other friends was asking about a Ninja Creamy today, and the first person that popped in my head, Deanna, because I've seen so many recipes that she has posted using her Ninja Creamy. Deanna's superpower is, in fact, cooking. Whether it's cooking in the oven or if it's just preparing food, definitely her superpower, okay? It is one superpower. So bravo to everyone who did their homework. Oh, and Carolee, that is so sweet. I'm glad she went. I would love to get them together someday. But bravo to everyone who did your homework. Y'all are amazing and fantastic as always. This week, though, we're talking about bridging the gap between want to and will do. There is a real gap. There is a chasm sometimes that exists between wanting to and will doing, like actually doing it. So I'm just going to throw out there, I want to be 5'7". It's about 2 inches taller than I am right now. So I'll stand about how tall that is. So I want to be 5'7". I want to be about 26, 27, 28 years old. And I want to be at my goal weight. Okay, so that's three pretty big wants. Okay, have you met me? So 5'7" is here. I'm here. Okay, definitely not 26, 57. But have you met me? 2 of the 3 things ain't happening, okay? They're just not happening. No matter how much I want to, I will not be 5'7". I could even lay on one of those incline stretchy thingies. I'm still not going to be 5'7", and I'm never going to be 26 again, okay? No matter how much I want it, it's not going to happen. I will not be doing that. But there are a whole lot of other things that I want to do, that I can do, and that I will do, okay? So here's some pro tips for turning your want to do's into will do's, okay? The first thing is you need to understand something called you need to understand the gap. So a few minutes ago I was talking about this gap or a chasm, and it's a real thing, and it's called the intention action gap, and it really exists. This is not made up. It's a real thing. The definition of intention action gap is it's the disconnect between what we want to do. So whatever, I'll use this hand because I keep saying want to and will to. So what we want to do, our intentions, whatever your intentions were, and it's the gap between that and what we actually do or our actions, So want to do, what our intentions were, and will do, what we're actually going to do, what our actions are. So here's an example of an intention action gap. So I wanted to stop myself at $60 at the grocery store today, okay? That's what I wanted to do. And because of this real thing, intention action gap that really exists, I wanted to stop myself at about $60. What actually happened over here is that I was at a little over $90 when I got done checking out in my cart. So the intention was there, what I wanted to do was there, but by the time I got across this gap, there were some actions that led to me overspending. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to understand, is this is a real thing. Hey, so Karen says $60. There are 2 of us. It's me and John. And I don't include the groceries, like if I buy extra stuff for the girls or whatever. But yeah, $60, not spending a lot of money on meat. We have oh my gosh, so many vegetables in the garden. And I still have, no matter how many times I clean out the refrigerator, the freezer, and the pantry, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of food that need to be used up. So yeah, $60 is not a lot. It's not a lot for two people. Okay, so that was my intention, was $60, but because of this gap, my reality, the action was a little over $90. Okay, then the next thing you need to do is to pick 3 things. It's just pick 3 things, because A, because I like the number 3, and B, it is highly unlikely that one single event led to my action, to my intention not becoming the action. Okay, so I mean, it's highly unlikely that there was just one thing. So I had the want to, definitely had the want to, but were there 3 things, might have been more than 3, but were there 3 things that kept me from my will do? So I sat down and made a list, and my list was, number 1, I didn't have a shopping list. I had no way to figure out, I had no way to measure this against what my plan was. So I planned for $60. I had no list. I had nothing that said, Kelly, if you buy this, 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 and this, that's going to be $59.97. I didn't have a shopping list, so I had nothing to, hit that goal with. The second thing was, I had way too much time to wander around. I had decided today that I was only going to work on the chat today. Went to church, got up, helped the girls eat breakfast, helped Casey get ready, took the girls to church with me, attended church and Sunday school, got everybody back home, and I had way too much time because I decided not to come and do any paperwork here. I decided I'm just going to work on the chat, just going to wander around the store, just going to take some time, okay? I had too much time. I had way too much time to just wander around and go up and down the aisles and look at school supplies, which were not on my list, not even close to being on my list. Had way too much time, okay? Now, don't think that I just had tons of free time, but I had 2 hours to wander around. Okay, and then the third thing, there were no witnesses to this plan. You don't always have to have them, but I kind of needed witnesses to this plan. There were none until now. Nobody knew until now that I went over budget by about $30. Okay, so the next thing you need to do to bridge this intention action gap, this chasm, is the first of 3 is reflect. Just reflect back on what happened, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I had great intentions. They were great intentions. They were doable intentions. I've done it before. I've kept it to $60 before. But after reflecting back on the 3 things, the shopping list, the too much time wandering around, and the no witnesses, I realized that there were some other things. There were some things I needed to rearrange on my next trip. Okay, on next week's trip. That leads me to the second thing, rearrange. Next trip, I need to make a list of things that I have coupons for, or that we need for a certain recipe, or that were perishable that we're getting ready to run out of. So I need to rearrange how I do that shopping trip to kind of help me, get back to that $60. And then the third thing is I'm going to retry. So I will check what I already have on hand, instead of just going out blindly and being like, I don't know. I mean, I bought cat food again. Do we need cat food? We have a stray cat. We don't even own a cat, but I bought cat food. I bought $5.67 worth of cat food because it was on sale and it said immunity booster. It's a stray cat. It's not even our cat. But there was $5.67 of the extra $30 because I didn't look before I left home today to see, do we have cat food? Yeah, exactly, Sarah. Bob, oh, and he's so cute. But I didn't look. There's probably a half a bag of cat food there, but I didn't look before I left. So when I rearrange, when I reflect on what happened today, rearrange the way that I'm going to plan this for next time, and then retry, I'll check to see what we already have on hand. I'm going to pick a meal or 2. Sarah, he's already adopted us. There's no adopting him. He's already adopted us, and we cannot bring him inside because John's allergic. But anyway, so I'm just going to pick 1 or 2 meals, not 7 days worth of meals, not 21 meals, not even 7 meals, 1 or 2 meals to focus on, to be on that list. And then I'm going to show my digital coupon list to Casey before I ever leave for the store, so that she can just double check. Did I find everything? Did I get all of the, all of the advantages that I wanted to take care of? Because I've gotten pretty good at stacking at Kroger, stacking digital coupons, cash back, buy the 6 or more, and making sure that it's things that I get extra points for on Fetch. So I've gotten really good at stacking them if I just take the time to pay attention to that. So I'm going to check what I already have on hand, like the cat food, because this time I know I have probably a bag and a half since I just bought some more. I'm going to pick 1 or 2 meals to focus on, and then I'm going to show Casey my digital coupon list so that she can say, Mother, we don't need 6 more boxes of Annie's mac and cheese, okay? We have 24 boxes of Annie's mac and cheese on the shelf. And trust me, she will do that for me. She will call me out on things that I'm trying to save money on by buying a ridiculously more, okay? Aloha, Kathy. So Vicky, Fetch is a thing where you can just scan your coupons, and I scan where you can scan every single receipt that you get, whether it's for gas, food. When I go to get my gas, I get a receipt for my gas. I get a separate receipt for my coffee. If I buy a scratch-off lottery ticket, a $1 scratch-off lottery ticket, I ask for a receipt for that. That's 3 different receipts from the same store that I get to scan, and you earn things. Like I just finished earning, let me think, how much was it? A $50 gift card to Walmart or Target. Anyway, I'll share that link with you separately. Okay, so that leads me to your homework. Your homework is #WillDo. #WILLDO. So Lynn, the hashtag was so long last week, and I think it was even longer the week before. I decided to only make it, 6 letters. So it's #WillDo, WILLDO. And this week I want you to pick something like my grocery shopping thing. We're going to go over a second one in the second half. And let's turn it into from your want to your will do by reflecting. Thank you, Lynn, for posting that. By reflecting, by rearranging, and retrying. Okay, so just like I talked about a few minutes ago, I want you to reflect on it, rearrange how it could happen, and then retry it maybe a different way to turn it from want to will do. So #will do, and Lynn has she has posted the hashtag for your homework. Do it, do it, do it. Everybody do your homework. It makes me so happy when you do your homework, and I want to see what all your will do's are. Whew. Okay, so I've been talking a lot, and I said in the first half, I said at the beginning of the first half that this the probiotic that I'm taking from Bioma, I'm telling you, make sure, I guess that's what it's doing. I need to go back and research this, but it is so like eliminating me of all excess water in my body that I know like ahead of time when I'm thirsty. I am thirsty right now. So as Sandra just said, everybody stop and drink your water. I'm actually watered up to here because I've been doing Julie's water challenge, and I was still doing it today. So I had already had all of my water for the day by, let me think, 4 o'clock, about 4:30. It was right before Karen and I started walking, and it is almost 8:30 now. So I have switched to Southern Breeze pre-sweetened cold brew peach tea. And have you tried the peach? Oh my gosh, it is so good. Anne is the one who got me turned on to this, to Southern Breeze. And hello, Mary from Pittsburgh. Anne from our sweet Anne from our Tuesday night in-person meetings got me hooked on Southern Breeze pre-sweetened tea. Okay, Anne says I have, and she likes it a lot. Carol Lou, are you drinking peach? Are you drinking the peach right now? It is so good. I mean, it is this, I don't know, it's just clean, not clean. I use spring water too, but it is just like it's just a clean, clear peach taste. Does that make sense? It doesn't taste fakey or artificial. It just tastes clean and peach. I hope that makes sense. But it is Southern Breeze pre-sweetened cold brews in cold water peach tea. And they are single serving tea bags. She's drinking the peach one too. Carol Lou, great minds think alike. Okay. Whew, drink your water real quick so we can or your tea, so we can switch to the second half. and you've created a monster. It's so good. Okay, and I'll tell y'all later how to get this. Okay, so for those of you anyone who is new, is there anyone with us tonight that is new? Because we would love to say hi and hello and welcome you. Also, if you are new, if you were watching this on YouTube, or if you happen to be re-watching this, I know Ann's like, same. So yeah, I used to say you're my dealer, but I figured out how to get it myself. I'm just kidding, I'm just saying. I guess you were my popcorn dealer for a little while too. But anybody who's watching this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg. When the apron goes on, that is the middle, that's the almost the exact middle of the chat. So these are 1 hour long chats. The first half is always, and the kids have been playing with my aprons. Kids like to come in and take my aprons down and go play in our little kids' kitchen over there. And I can tell one of them has been playing waitress because there is a little notepad and a pen in my pocket. But anyway, so if you're watching this later on demand on YouTube or on Facebook, the first half is all classroom about whatever the Weight Watchers topic was from the prior week. The second half is usually something fun. The second half is kind of scary tonight, just gonna say, because we're trying something live together that we're gonna talk about. We'll talk about here in just a second. It's not actually scary. Like, nobody needs to call 911 and be poised for the other one. Okay, I think we'll be fine. I've been talking to a lot of people. I've done a lot of research. I think we'll be good. It's just freaking me out a little bit. Okay, so this is the second half of chat number 375, and we were talking about bridging the gap between want to and will do. So remember, there was that intention action gap, which is an actual thing. So I told you all a few years ago that my want to was to learn how to preserve everything that came out of the garden. I mean, I don't know if you can see or not. This is just from Saturday and Sunday. So if you can see that mound of tomatoes that's coming out, let me see if I can get my finger in the right spot. If I can, show you that. So that is from Saturday and this morning. So it is a mound of cherry tomatoes. I have 3 green peppers. Finally, I finally have green peppers. I have 3 of them. Got a couple of cucumbers, some yellow squash, and a couple of Roma tomatoes. And if you can see over here, I've actually been chopping some things. So a couple of years ago, my want to was to preserve everything that came out of the garden. I didn't want to compost any of it. I didn't, except the ends, and the plants when I was done with them, but I didn't want to compost any of it. I had eaten this many cucumbers, but I love cucumbers, but I wanted to preserve everything. So a few years ago, like 3 years ago, I was going to teach myself how to pressure can and ferment and anything else that I could think of. And it was an epic fail. So my want to was over here, and that intention action gap was this big. It was huge. It was huge. So my intentions were great, but they were too much. Like, I was shooting too high, too much. Didn't have my mom here. Didn't have a support system, really. I mean, I had people that were more than willing to help me eat it. And if I had known what to do, I think they would have helped me. But that gap was just too big. So nothing happened, and it just kind of stalled out. So without even realizing it, I did chat number 375. So I bridged the gap between want to and will do starting a few weeks ago. And I want us to just reflect back to the 3 things that we talked about tonight. And let me find that. The first thing was understanding that gap. I understand the gap. We've talked about the gap many, many, many times, and I understand that was the issue with not getting all of these vegetables canned, pressure canned, water bath canned, fermented, dry, whatever. That was what that gap was. For those, there was a gap. That was that intention action gap. Then I thought, okay, well, what are 3 things? What are 3 things that could have been holding me back? 3 things, because it wasn't a single event. It wasn't just my mom not being here. That wasn't the thing that kept me from making this happen. So I tried to think, what are 3 things that kept my want to from becoming my will do? Well, the first thing was I tried too much at one time. Like, I tried to go from 0 to the perfect preserver boom in one summer. The second thing was I did not have the all the proper tools. I didn't have the proper tools that I needed. And the third thing was I didn't have, since my mom is in here, I didn't have the right resources. So what I did is I reflected back on those three things that I was missing. I rearranged some things, decided to try one first, then perfect it, then try the next one, not try to do them in a different order than I was trying to do them before, and then retry. So we're on probably week, let me think, 5, I think, of the big retry. So to close this intention action gap, what I have done, one of the things I did was started with pickling. So I started with something that was simple, something that most everybody can do, like most home gardeners, most cooks, most people cooking in the kitchen, even Alyssa's 7-year-old, 8-year-old next door neighbor, she knows how to make pickles. So I started with something simple and made pickles. Did pretty well, made pickles 3 weeks in a row. I'm getting better. They were good the first week, first time I made them. Batch number 3, they're getting better. So I broke it down into pickling first, then I'm trying fermenting, which we are going to try tonight, and then we're going to go on to a third preservation method, which is drying. I have decided that drying is going to be my third one instead of canning. I've kind of waited too long in the season. It's still overwhelming to me. I really think I need to have a different resource to teach me how to pressure can, and trust me, vegetables will be there next year too, okay? It's not like this is the only year for vegetables. I want to give you just a tiny sneak preview though of what's coming next week, because I worked on this all day Saturday, and then I promise we'll circle back around to the fermenting. So all day Saturday I worked on figuring out how to dehydrate vegetables, okay? And I only have the air fryer because our stove here, remember our stove here at Casey Kitchen Center doesn't actually work because they never hooked it up. They never hooked it up to the gas. So I only have the air fryer. Several of you all asked how you could help. Look at these. They're tomatoes. Okay. We're gonna work on that next week, but I only mention this because several of you all asked how you can help support the chat since the budget cuts, and it's looking like those are never going to uncut. So I was hoping it was short term, but I'm thinking it's not going to be short term. But several of y'all asked how you could help, and then one of you, Melissa, actually suggested that I set up an Amazon wish list, which I have done, and I've shared the link a couple of times. I can share it again if you all need it. But part of this Amazon wish list, I have added a dehydrator on there. That is, it's not super expensive, but it's expensive. I mean, it would be like a big investment. But if anybody decided to go in, like a couple of people together or whatever, and buy that, I would love to be able to take this dehydrating experiment and like take it to the next level. So that's on that Amazon wish list. Again, you do not have to buy anything. You don't have to send anything. You don't have to whatever. It's just some people asked how they could help. That seemed to be a great way to help. And if we have time, I'll show you how a few people helped just this week. Okay, then when I was reflecting and rearranging, remember one of the things I said I didn't have was I will, Carol Lou, thank you. So one of the things that I said that I didn't have was resources. So I went to the library, of all things. 3 weeks in a row, Alyssa and I have gone to the library, and she has gotten her books in preparation for starting first grade, a week from Monday, a week from tomorrow. She starts first grade. Bo starts pre-K 3 because she'll be 3 in September somehow. So, oh wait, hold on a second. Debbie says, do you have Amazon gift cards? Then we could contribute that way, and you could purchase a larger purchase. I don't know. Figure out how to do that. How to do that. I know, Debbie, and we need to, I don't know. I need to win. I've been buying $1 scratch-off lottery tickets trying to win a trip to come and see you, because you've got to see these children. Anyway, so Alyssa and I in preparation for her going back to first grade, and so that I can have some better resources. We have the last 3 weeks in a row, we've gone to the library. That is absolutely your best source of information. If you can't, go find some old women to sit down with. If you can't, if your grandmother or your mom's not still around to show you how to do all this stuff like mine or not, and if you haven't hooked up yet with your extension office, which might be something on my list for next year, I'm going to try really hard to take some extra time off, get the girls where they need to be here so that I can take some extra time off and visit the local extension office. But the library, I mean, how easy is it to go to the library? You literally just have to have a driver's license to get a library card, and you too can be the keeper of all this knowledge. So with my library book, with my library card, and it's the coolest thing, look, I even wrote down the card catalog number, which I didn't realize how much I missed that. I went over to the computer at the local library, typed in my information, and then I typed in, what did I type in the first time? Food preserving, or preserving food, I think is what I typed in. And I found out that at this particular library, 641, the shelves that are numbered 641, and then the author's last name, tons of them, tons of books. And another thing Alyssa noticed is, because we've been to 3 different libraries in the last 3 weeks, she said, Nona, we live near a lot of libraries. And I said, we really do, Alyssa. We live near the Halls Library, which is near your house. We live near the Fountain City Library, which is near Nona's work. And we live near the Powell Library. And she said, oh, that's where the storybook trail is. And I said, that's exactly right. So even if you don't need to learn how to preserve food, if you have children or grandchildren, go to the library. I'm just telling you, it'll be good for you and them. So I've already returned a couple of the books that were absolutely useless because the recipes were this long. And one of the guys, I wish I had written down the name to tell you all, don't even bother. My gosh, he was such a food preservation snob. There's no reason for that, okay? It's just food. This one has been really good though. This one is called Put 'em Up, Preserving Answer Book. It's 399 solutions to all your questions about canning, freezing, drying, fermenting, and making infusions. And it's written by Sherry Brooks Vinton, and she is the best-selling author of Put 'em Up, and Put 'em Up, which is just Put 'em Up, and Put 'em Up Fruit. So this one's Put 'em Up Preserving. Okay, tonight we are going to turn to page 160. So page 160 in Sherry's Put 'em Up Preserving Answer Book talks about fermenting. So pickling is pretty easy. I just asked a few people. I asked Casey's neighbor, whose mom obviously pickles, the 8-year-old neighbor, and her mom pickled cucumbers the last 2 years. So I checked with them. I checked with my sister. I checked Mrs. Wage's website. I just checked, with a few other people, and the pickling ended up being, and with Kelsey that works here, the pickling ended up being pretty easy. But when I got to fermentation, whoa, so far outside of my expertise or my knowledge or whatever, and I thought, wow, I've got to get some help. I have got to get some backup help. So a couple of questions that I had that I'm just going to do just a quick brief overview for you, and then we're going to try the fermentation that we started last week. So the first thing was, fermentation seems so mysterious. How does it work? Sherry gives a brief overview that fermentation is one of the oldest forms of food preservation, and that it's really simple to do. I have to tell you, once I got over the fear of this, you literally just leave it alone. I mean, you literally just clean everything, get it ready, prep it, and leave it alone. Then the next question was lactic acid. Do I need to add it to your crock or to whatever you're preserving in? It's created by the fermentation process. So the food that you put in here and the brine that you make with it, it is going to make its own lactic acid. A question I have, and you're going to see this, and she's got a couple of recipes in here, like this first one is classic fermented sauerkraut, which I'm going to try next. This one was so me. My ferment is bubbling. Has it gone bad? And she said, no, bubbles occur naturally in the fermentation process, and they're a good sign that things are going well. Okay, well, I've got a good sign that things are going well. This one freaked me out. If I had not already checked this book out of the library, I would have thrown this away without even checking, because I have no like resources. I had no resources outside of these books from the library, and then saying, okay, according to this book from the library, or these books from the library, this is cool. Then I found somebody that does fermenting and asked them, and they said, sure, no, that is cool. Okay, this question is, there is mold on top of my ferment. Is it rotten? Okay. This to me looks like mold. So I did everything the way that I should. I prepped it all. I did the brine. I got the water. I got the water in the cap. It's burping itself. Okay. Debbie says the film is good with fermentation too. Just understand, since I did not have a live person here to ask, this freaked me out. So Sherry says, it is not uncommon for a cap of mold or bloom to form on the top of your ferment. This is particularly common in the beginning stages of fermentation when the process hasn't had time yet to create enough lactic acid to lower the pH of the brine. Okay, so if you notice a patch of mold or bloom floating on top of your crock, just gently scoop it off and then wash the plate or container you're using to weight down your produce. Okay, so you guys are doing this with me live, okay? Taking off the little cap. There was also a question about being able to smell it. This one is the salsa. It smells really, really good. It smells like every Mexican restaurant everywhere. Okay, and then with this particular jar, we're going to take off this little ring, and then we're going to get the thing that's holding this down. We're going to take it out. So this bloom, this cap that's on top, that is the part that was freaking me out, because I thought, oh my gosh, this is ruined. I have completely ruined this. Debbie, tell me if this is right. Tell me if this is right. I had someone tell me, now it doesn't say in this specific book, it doesn't say what that is called, but I had someone tell me that is called calming. I can't remember what she called it, but she was like, yeah, just scoop it off, chuck it, and go ahead and try your ferment. So I'm trying to be super cool about this and not freak out, but she said that is totally normal. I trust Debbie. Debbie is saying that the film is good. The film is good with fermentation too. I trust you. I trust you all. Okay, then the next question was, how can I test to see if my fermented foods are ready? And it said your taste buds. Your taste buds are the best way to taste it. So remember, I told you all that we were going to test this live. So even with that weird little film on top, which I have been assured will not kill me, and Debbie says, yeah, I can't recall the technical term, but yes, it is fine. Yeah, Kelsey called it a bloom, and she called it calm, I can't remember. Okay, so let's try it. That is some wicked good salsa. That is super, super good. I don't want to stick that back in there just because I ate off of it. That is really good, really fresh tasting. It's not this exact same flavor as the fresh salsa, but that is really good. It doesn't taste cooked. See, I was worried about cooking the salsa and pressure canning it because I didn't want it to taste like it came out of a jar. That does not taste like it came out of a jar. That is really, really good. Okay, so next thing was how to know. Let's see. Wow, this stuff is smelly. Is that okay? It smells really good. It smells really, really good. And hold on a second. Let's see. The next one was what kind of water is best for fermenting. Tap water might be suitable for drinking. And you can use it for fermenting, but if it's heavily chlorinated, you might want to consider boiling it. I used spring water. You can also use distilled water for fermenting. Salt does play a really special role in this, so I'm not sure what you would do without salt. You might have to ask somebody besides me. One of the other things though was if you store, how to store it. So if you store, I'm going to store this in the refrigerator. So now I think that's pretty good. If I put all this back together again, so if I wash this off and put all this back together again, putting this configuration in the refrigerator is going to slow down the fermentation process, but it's not going to stop it. So I just want to slow this down a little bit because I think that tastes pretty darn good. Like, I am super happy with that. Super happy with it. Yeah, so I'm going to try it right there. Let's try the next one. This one is pickles. So the pickles don't seem to have that same, they don't seem to have that same bloom on top. Ooh, hold on. Sorry, let me get my little weight off of here. So a lot of people had different ways to, like different crocks and things. Oh, Debbie says there is some bloom on the opposite side of the jar from me. Oh, I see it. I'll clean that out. So I'm going to clean that out. Oh yeah, and Debbie just makes a great point that I did not point out in here. She says use non-iodine salt. She always uses real salt, pink Himalayan salt. That's exactly what I used. Okay, pickles. And I'm going to take some of these home. But see, this did not make the same film at the top. I don't have an explanation for that, sorry. But I will be taking these home because you all know Alyssa, well, I mean, if they taste good to me, Alyssa absolutely loved the pickled pickles. This is the exact same recipe, except with more of a brine, with a brine that I found. Oh wait, I'm gonna let her have the spears because she likes spears and I like slices. But except with a brine, the spices that are in here are exactly the same as what I've been putting in her pickled pickles. So let's see. She's gonna do my true test. So let's see how this tastes. Made a pickle. That is crazy. That is crazy. No, wow, it's a different tasting pickle. It's a really good pickle, but it's not vinegary. It's just a pickled, I don't know, it's like a pickled pickle. That's good. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's really crisp. And you can really taste the dill and the garlic. That's pretty darn good. Okay. So, other than being freaked out by the bloom that was on there, I have reflected on past mistakes or past inactivity, not being able to jump from that, from the action, from the intention to the action, not being able to jump that gap. Reflected on that, reflected on why, what were some things that I was missing, was I doing too much, too little, didn't have a plan, didn't have a mentor, didn't have the proper resources, you know, kind of what was that in between, and then, you know, just retry it. I'm going to say pickling, giant success. Fermenting, this is pretty darn good. I think I'm going to let this continue to ferment, maybe on the counter for a couple more days. I think the pickles could use just a little bit more, and then I'm going to slow it down by putting it in the refrigerator. I'm going to let the salsa go another day or two and just see what it tastes like, but it's already a really, really good flavor. I want to see if I can get rid of that film though, just because that's freaking me out. So remember, use your resources, reflect back on what you did before or what you didn't do before. Think about what's causing that gap. What are some things that are either causing the gap or some things that could help you, you know, kind of leap that gap. Remember your resources. Library, library, library. I know in this case, it's about preserving, but if it's about cooking, or if it's about organizing, or if it's about how to make a schedule, or if it's about how to make a grocery list, I promise you there is a book at the library about everything. While I was in, is it 641? Let's just look again. While I was in the 641 shelves at the Powell Library, I'm serious, there were books about everything. If you don't use anything else to get yourself from your intention across that gap to your action, go to the library and find something to help you bridge that gap. Literally, there was a topic for everything. And it was kind of fun to use is that the Dewey Decimal System, I guess, to look that up and to actually go physically find it instead of just sitting in front of a computer looking it up. This was so much better, this physical book. Okay, before I go, I will post more details on this fermenting. I'm going to let it sit for just a couple more days. I'm going to get everything cleaned back up, put back together. I'm going to let it sit for a couple more days, and then I'll work on getting this posted. But I will post that Amazon wish list. If anybody can figure out Debbie's idea of doing the gift cards, please let me know. I'll try to look into that tomorrow. But if anybody already knows, let me know. And then next week, we will jump into a little bit like a pre lesson on air drying, on dehydrating, but I also need to show you all what came in this awesome box down here. So some of you all have already purchased a handful of things off of that Amazon wish list. Blessings, blessings, blessings you all are. So thank you all very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will try something. That salsa recipe, that original salsa recipe that y'all waited so long on, I think y'all waited 3 weeks on it. It's posted. It is posted. It's on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. That is www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And if you search salsa, it will pop up. It is actually the first recipe that's showing right now on the list, so you should be able to find it pretty easily. And you can click on the video link to that second 30 minutes when I have the apron on, when I show you how to actually make it. I've had another request for it to be brought Tuesday night to our in-person meeting. So it is a keeper. So I'll get started on all of this with Casey. We'll keep playing with the dehydrating, but I would love to have that dehydrator, and that would be an awesome thing. What Debbie says she thinks I just add it to my wish list for a gift card. Fantastic. I will figure out how to do that. Or if you figure it out before me, you have my number. Let me know. But y'all have a great week. Don't forget to go to your library, and don't forget to go to do your homework. Yeah, maybe I should make your homework going to the library. I really should probably do that. Maybe I'll do that here in a week or two. But y'all have a great week. If you're watching on YouTube, please let that next video go ahead and roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. And I hope you will click on subscribe and that little bell so that you'll know when the next video comes up. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.